Hello, welcome to another weekly video. Today I'm going to be talking about the holidays again. I guess I I kind of find it interesting how people respond in the holidays, so I thought I'd talk about it a little bit again. And I mean, I guess you should try to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt because, like, it is kind of different depending on who you are, but there are some things that I've learned as far as like what God is more okay with during the holidays, um, and what He's not more okay with. Um, and maybe some of it's more obvious than others, but well, I'll try to go into it a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I've known a lot of people who have a lot of different uh, ways that they celebrate Christmas. So um, I don't want to make it sound like God looks down on anybody for what they do, but there are some things that are more okay um, with God just because it's um, it's it doesn't cause consequences to you or your family. So, for example, Santa Claus is a big one that people celebrate this time of year. I think you know Christmas originally started out as a more of a religious holiday. I'm not sure. I haven't done any research, but I always kind of assumed that Santa Claus and Christmas and reindeer came out more because people wanted to make it not so centered around religion, which I totally understand. I do think sometimes uh, the holidays that were initially religious were just too religious, and people just could not um, live the way that that I guess religious people had turned things into. But anyway, like I don't want to make anybody feel bad for Santa Claus and stuff like that. Um, I think that God looks at those things with a lot of grace. You know, my parents taught me that there was a Santa Claus until I was a certain age, and um, you know, I know a lot of people still teach their kids that, and like it's not so much that Santa Claus is the problem. I don't think God looks at it that way. It's not Santa Claus or Christmas trees necessarily. First of all, it's how you treat it. Like um, like for example, if you're getting a Christmas tree and and you put a lot of like effort into it, and a lot of like attention into it, and it starts taking away from other people, it may be borderline like idolatry, things like that. Like you have to be real careful with certain items, and how much energy and attention you give to it. But that's anything, you know. It's just you know, I feel like the world today kind of encourages certain behaviors that can really be harmful to us if we're not careful. But like I said, it's not necessarily Santa Claus or Christmas trees or anything like that. It's really it's really the lie. I know a lot of people don't look at it maybe as a lie, but the lie you tell your child is the harm. You know, and I'm speaking from my own experience. I felt very betrayed by my parents when they told me there was a Santa Claus, and I found out that there wasn't. You know, they invested a lot of energy into um, encouraging the lie. You know, it's not just there's a Santa Claus. It's it's putting presents up after I go to sleep, sneaking around, the secretiveness of it, you know, the asking them to their face and they say, yes, there's a Santa Claus. You know, the the lengths that people go to have a child continue to believe that, it can be really damaging. And maybe there are people out there that are happier that they did believe in Santa Claus. That's fine. Um, I'm just trying to tell you that there is potential for problems. Even if you're happier that you believed in Santa, um, it could still cause you to. I I don't know how there's a way around this, but it could still cause you to lose your trust in your parents, um, lose the trust in the person telling you that there's a Santa Claus. I don't think there's any avoiding that, just because it is, a fantasy and a lie, that you're telling your child. And I know a lot of people look at it like it's healthy. Like I do understand where people are coming from with it totally. I just I can't help but look at the reality of it. It can cause damage. I think that's what God looks at more than anything. But like I said, I don't want to speak for everybody. There are um, different situations. I mean, um, I don't know what it would be like to have such a um, like, for example, maybe you've been through so much in life that you needed something like that to make you feel better in life. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities, and it, I know a lot of people really do feel like they are happier, and sometimes they live for the holidays. I understand that. I remember feeling happier around the holidays when I was living with my parents. There was just a better feeling that seemed to happen because everybody was kind of looking forward to Christmas, and I think for some reason it just makes people uh, feel better and be in a better mood sometimes. But I just wanted to encourage people to be careful with some of the things that go on the holidays. Like I said, uh, I've read some things where it can people can look at can actually go into some negative areas with like decorating and trees. I know this sounds strange because you know it's kind of accepted by most people to um, to do these things at Christmas, and maybe it's okay for most people, but it can get out of balance very easily. And and I look at myself now, and I kind of understand it more just because there seems to be a lot of pressure that happens around the holidays that probably puts things out of balance more than anything. I mean, I've heard people talk about. I mean, maybe this is more of a Thanksgiving thing, but I've heard people talk about how they're going to host the family dinner at their home, and it's such a um, well, I guess people talk about it, it's a privilege, but when I really look at what's happening, they're very stressed out. They have to decorate their home to please the people coming over to eat. They have to make the perfect food, and everything has to be right. And you know, um, nobody wants to disappoint somebody in their family, or even if it's not family. I just every time I hear somebody say, "Oh, we're going to host Thanksgiving, or we're going to host Christmas here," it's always like a very big negative. And but a lot of people talk about it like it's a positive, like, "Oh, well, we're looking forward to being the host this year," and it's just I don't think people see what it's doing to them. And I talked about this more on the last video I did about holidays, so I won't go into it too much. Um, but I really wanted to focus more, like I said, um, on the Santa Claus thing. It's the same for all. Um, I don't know how to say it. Say like mythical creatures like Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny, all those kind of things. It's kind of the same thing. Anyway, let me go ahead and wrap it up. I see I'm going over on time, so um, I just wanted to talk about those things briefly about the holidays, and I thank you for watching and have a nice day.